Greetings to all my loved ones. Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails and Conversation with moi. Today's special invited guest is this lovely. Cause I gotta introduce a special invited guest. Come on now, mixed cocktail code. It's a margarita, 12%, y'all. Get into it. I just started drinking it though, so we'll see. But anywho, where was I? Okay, so for today's episode of Cocktails and Conversation, what I would like to talk to everybody about. Now, this is inspired by, I saw online that Super Scent made a video about things that she learned in 2021. I have not watched it yet, but I will because I fucks with Super, okay? She definitely is somebody to look up to, very strong businesswoman who's been through a lot. I can relate. But I had saw the title of the video that she had posted, and I was like, shit, I need to make one of them videos too, because I done learned a lot this year, okay? Okay? A lot. And a lot of the things that I've learned, I have taken the time out to make videos. Those are my healing wisdom. Those come from personal experience, not just from things that happened this year, but things that have happened all throughout my life and my spiritual journey that have made me the person that I am today. Okay? But the things that I learned, the things that Empress Oracle learned last year in 2021. I should have wrote a list, okay? But where to begin? First thing I'll say that I learned that forgiveness starts with yourself. Most definitely. Forgiveness starts with yourself. A lot of times people have unfortunate circumstances and things that happen to them or whatever, and they're angry at the offender, yeah, as you should be, but then on top of that, they have victim's remorse, victim's guilt and stuff like that. And it's just like, you have to forgive yourself for situations, even if you put yourself into them knowingly, thinking you knew what the outcome was going to be or what was going on. You have to not blame yourself. Even if you went into a situation, blind about anything, about circumstances, people's feelings, when, the truth comes out, because, the truth always comes out. Don't beat yourself up about that shit. Forgive yourself. Don't feel stupid. There are certain things that are going to happen to you in your journey, not just your spiritual journey, your journey called life. There are certain things that are going to happen to you that God is going to make happen to you on purpose, okay? And they may offend you, they may hurt, but it's to build you. These are what I call character building exercises. And the only way that you can get stronger and gain that strength is if first and foremost you forgive yourself for that situation that was to build you up. Okay? You have to look at it from a positive viewpoint and a positive aspect. That's why I always talk about lessons, all right? Lessons and blessings. That when things don't go your way, that is a lesson. Don't beat yourself up about it, because you're wasting time worried about the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and why it didn't, instead of trying to unfuck yourself. And then you're diverting from your course. So that's the first thing I learned. I mean, I never really had a problem with forgiving myself for things. Not lately, anyway. Like, I know when I was younger, I had guilted myself. I used to, beat myself up about a lot of things, because as humans or people having human experiences, we want to feel like we're in control. And the thing that this is something that I already knew, but I was, I'm going to say gently reminded of by God, is when you're having a human experience, sometimes we feel like we really are the ones that are driving, that have control. And so God will force certain things to happen to remind you where your source of your substance, your sustenance, your fortitude, your strength comes from, which is in Him. God, spirit, whatever you want to call him, Allah, you know what I say. Same shit, different toilet. Okay? We're not going to get particular because y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay? So any nitpickers who watching this video and want to get technical, get out of here. Go. Bye. Get out. Get out. We don't want to hear that. Right? Anyway, also too, I also learned last year that, let me find the words for this. Sometimes you don't even realize when you're trying to prove yourself to somebody. Sometimes you feel like you know your worth and you feel as though the proof is in the pudding, but yet inadvertently you find yourself trying to prove yourself to certain people, and you shouldn't have to. If ever you feel like you have to prove yourself to somebody, maybe it's not meant for them to see, or maybe they just don't want to see it. Because something I also learned is that sometimes you can't depend on people to give you what you should give yourself, which is that self-acknowledgement, that pat on the back, that good job and stuff. Because sometimes just because people know that is what you want to hear, or just because they know that a party feels like you have to prove yourself to them, they will withhold that from you, okay, as a form of control, right? And that's not good, but a lot of people do it. They tend to be called narcissists, but there's other types too. I know that was the word for 2021, right? Narcissist. And then what was 2020? Toxic. It's all coming together. It's a reason why these words are at the forefront of everybody's vocabulary nowadays. Is because the veils are being pulled back, truths are being exposed, spades are being called spades, etc., etc. People getting called on their bullshit now, and a lot of people not happy. So they put those words, yes, they already have negative connotations to them, but they try to make you feel like you're a hater when you use those words in a logical standpoint. It's not so. You're not a hater. Speaking of haters, something else. Okay, before I say this, I mean this as humbly as possible. Because if you truly know me, you know I am a humble person. I pop my shit, but I'm a humble person. I'm one of those proof is in the pudding type people. You feel me? But what I learned about haters, you don't have to do anything to get a hater. People are haters, not because they're hating on you, but because they hate themselves. That's what makes them a hater. And all they're doing is just going around projecting on you. And some people are so smooth with it that you don't even realize they're a hater at first. You be like, what's wrong with me? What I do? It's not you. It's not you. Now, sometimes when you know it's you, then you have to take accountability for it. And you have to be like, okay, well, what can I change? What can I do differently? But if you know it's not you, I'm going to put it like this. If you walk into a room with 5 people besides yourself, and 4 of them is hating on you, and you ain't even did shit but walk in, it's not you. It's not you. Hell, if you walk into a room with 2 people, 3 people. Sometimes, I really learned the true meaning of this as well. When they say that your light will irritate other people's demons, motherfuckers will conjure up demons to be irritated towards you. Literally. That's something that I learned as well. Sorry if y'all hear the chair creaking. I need moving. Anyway. Yeah, that's something that I learned as well. And it's sad, but it's true. Because when people don't have things going on in their life, or when people are on the outside looking in at your life, and it seems more appealing, more glamorous, more shiny, more exciting than theirs, because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're not on their path and their purpose, That shit makes them so upset. And somehow that mirror of accountability is never there. It's always missing whenever that shit happens. It's always missing. And that's sad because a lot of people live their lives without accountability. That's what I learned. I learned you go your whole motherfucking life without taking accountability for the smallest things if you want to, even if you have the power to change them. And sometimes that's due to fear. I learned that fear is a strong motherfucker. I personally had never gotten introduced to fear until this year that passed, right? But also, what I learned, fear is not a natural feeling or an organic feeling for a child of God or a child of the light. So when I felt that feeling, I knew that it was a projection. I knew that was not me. That's not what I'm made of. Okay? I fear no man. I fear no woman. I fear no witch. I fear no warlock. I know who I am. And that's something that I feel everybody needs to truly learn, because a lot of times when you ask people, do they know who they are? They'll say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Philly, blah, 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 off so-and-so and so-and-so. I went to this school. Nah, nigga, that's not what I'm talking about. Who are you really? Who are you really? There's a lot of us that are not even, you know what I'm saying, from our families. We're star seeds. Do you know that? Do you know that? But do you really know that? This year, I learned not to ever forget who the fuck I am, regardless of what projections other people are trying to impose on me. To thine own self be true. Know who you are, stand for something, or fall for anything. That's what I learned. And that's one of my goals that I want to teach people. Stand for something, stand for yourself. If you're standing for yourself, it should always be good. It should always be good. If you're standing for your highest good, it should always benefit others as well. And if you're around people who have a problem with that, they're not for you. Everybody ain't woke, y'all. Everybody ain't woke. A lot of people want to pretend to be because it's cool or whatever until it's time to do that work. Until it's time to be the bigger person. Until it's time to look at the glass as half full instead of half empty, when all the odds are against you, when the matrix is trying to close in on you and cast doubts, fears, anxieties on you that are not really yours. Till it's time to remember who the fuck you really are and put some action behind that shit. Right? Actions always speak louder than words. You can say what you want, but it's what you do. It's what you do that really makes you the person that you are. And I learned that some people's natural reactions, just like we have a set of natural reactions called the fight or flight response, where in strenuous situations, a person may choose to defend themselves or to tuck tail and get the fuck on. I also learned that there are people. Oh shit, I almost forgot what I was going to say. Devil, you a liar. But I also learned that there are people out there that will choose to project things onto you, right? That is their natural response, or to be deceptive to you, even when they don't have to, or they choose to move like a snake, thinking they'll never get seen. That's what I learned. And that is organic to some people. No matter what they say, their actions always prove otherwise. And if you pay attention, some people are such smooth manipulators that if you're not really paying attention, you might miss it. You might miss it. And I also learned a lot of times that comes from the people closest to you. I know we hear that all the time. But when it comes down to your family, your immediate family, that shit, you know what I'm saying? It hit a little different. It hit a little different. But when that happens, just know that's because that's not your real family. You're a fucking starseed, bitch. The fuck? These people you was put in their life to trigger each other, to see what type of natural response are you going to have. Are you going to have the response of growth, fight? Are you going to flee? Or are you going to be deceptive? You're going to lie, scream, kill, manipulate your way to the top. Because that right there is going to be something for you to learn, and probably those people as well. There's always a method to the madness, guys. Always. And sometimes when you step back, step outside of yourself, and look at it from things and situations from a third person point of view, and you just sit back and you be like, should line up. When you look at people as people and not as relations and placements in your life, sometimes you will see more truth than you would have ever seen before if you're just honest with yourself and real. Okay? A lot of people will get a lot of things done to them, especially a lot of people who are chosen. They have a lot of wrongs done to them from people who, you know what I'm saying, it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to react or to fight or to respond because of the closeness or proximity of the relationship between them and that person. But the pain hurts just as much as if a stranger did it. And the fact that they can't do anything back is horrible, right? Because of the relationship. That fucks with you. That is supposed to stimulate you to figure out how to grow. Because, as I always say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So if you figure your way out of that, you can figure your way out of a lot of situations in life that may come from other people who are not as close, but have the potential to do just as much damage, and you'll be prepared. Remember that. Remember I said that, guys. Okay? But yeah, those are just some of the things that I learned. I could go on and on, but I don't want to. I'm chilling. I'm feeling good right now. You feel me? These are tasty. Not bad. You know what I'm saying? They taste like when you go to one of the Mexican spots, you know what I'm saying, on the Sunday or whatever, when they got happy hour. Tastes like this. You know? But besides that, I'm about to go. Everybody be blessed. Think about what you've learned this past year and how you're going to implement that into 2022 moving forward. Okay? Forgive those who've harmed you and wronged you, and also forgive yourself. I'm not saying you gotta fuck with the people, but forgiveness is for you. Remember that. Holding grudges, that's just extra baggage on you that you can't receive the blessings that you came here to get. Who do that? Okay? Mosey on over to my shop. You see this piece right here? This custom piece? Yes, I made this for myself out of raw amethyst. Go on Etsy and check out my shop, Empress Oracle Shop. There I have a whole bunch of custom handmade crystal items that can aid you on any part of your journey towards healing and being the best person that you can be this lifetime. I love you all. Have a wonderful night.